Great morning, great morning, great morning. I am Nicole D. Jones, and I am just happy and grateful for another day. I'm happy and grateful for life. I say it every week. I'm going to keep saying it. I don't take days for granted. I don't take you for granted. I'm going to remind you, I don't take life for granted. All right? Because we are not promised the end of this day. Okay? God promises us many things, but the one thing he'll never promise us is another day because no one knows the day or the hour but him. Okay. So I want to remind you that you are healthy, you are wealthy, you are prosperous. Everything your hands go to touch, it must, it shall, and it will manifest, prosper, and grow great things because you are great. You're never alone. You walk in unity. Even if you don't have someone with you physically, Holy Ghost is always there to lead, guide, and direct us. That is not based on a religion. That is not based on a belief. It is a fact that we are all spirit with soul wrapped in this flesh. And if you want to believe it or not, there was someone who died for you, that you will be left with a comforter to lead, guide, and direct you. I'm on a whole nother something. I don't even remember what I'm supposed to talk about today, but let me tell you what's on my heart. Okay. Just share my heart with you today because I say this all the time, but I'm being intentional because your words, you got to be your word. I will have them up today. I have not put the last 2 weeks up. I've been talking about this journey being very simple, but what's simple to do is also simple not to do. But at the end of the day, if we seek our original citizenship, which is kingdom, okay? It's the supernatural. It's where you were originally created. Understanding that we're just going through this journey, understanding and being intentional that we want to pull inward out, not outward in. This journey is very simple. But what makes it challenging? Life. What is life? The journey. This is very simple, all right? But again, because we're flesh, because we're human, because we're this spirit being in this natural world, because we live in a place of darkness, the world is dark, period, okay? We have to be intentional to shift our perspective, shift our mindset. We have to be intentional to prioritize, like I've been saying. Got to prioritize your day. Got to prioritize it. Okay. Then when we go into the priorities, we got to organize it. Like I said, but where I've been really stuck, where I've been, well, not stuck, where I've been sitting, where I've been pondering. Okay. Because it sounds good. We know what that means. It's easy. We write, I got a book full of to-do lists. Okay. But at the end of the day, until we learn this self-control, until we're intentional, until we walk in integrity, until we go to our original DNA, because it's very simple. All right, excuse me. You were born, chase peace. You chase the things that you are. You are peace. You are love. You are integral. You are the solution, not the problem. So when we go through this journey, we have to learn to shift our perspective. No matter what we're faced with, you must shift your perspective. And shifting your perspective, you then focus on the things of you. I'm gonna focus on being integral. What is integrity? Hold on. Y'all know. Next to the Bible, which is the book for me, I've gone to this dictionary because one thing I don't want us to be is ignorant. And when I say ignorant, it's just the not knowing. All right. We say things and we know it, but we got to make sure that we understand what it is we're saying we're going to be. All right. So what is integrity? It's the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, moral uprightness. It's a state of being whole and undivided. Wow. Huh. The state of being whole and undivided. Wow. Upholding territorial integrity and national sovereignty. is the example. But this is the thing. I never even seen that before. Integrity. We're walking to be integral. Okay. We're walking to be honest. Why? Because these are the things that we are. All right. In order for us to walk in the simplicity of us, we have to understand how we were truly created to be. It's the tainting of this journey. It's the trauma. And like I'm going to keep saying it, because trauma, we always put it with something so devastating, so negative. Things impact us. So maybe I need to stop using the word trauma. This journey, we have impactful things, good and bad. All right. Impacting can be in a positive impacting. It could be a negative impacting. But all these things are our environment, the people who are around us. That is everything that creates us naturally. So you have to be intentional. When you want to walk in integrity, you got to be intentional to pull out and to look at it in a perspective and from a viewpoint of inward out, not outward in. Yes, when you deal with the inside, the outside shows it. When you begin to deal with walking in peace, walking in love, the outside shows it. We got to stop doing things from the out in and do them in out. That's when it's lasting. Because a lot of times we'll change things because of situations, and then it becomes a situational change. I need an internal change. I need an internal change. Okay? You want to know why you were created, how you were created? Go to Genesis. All right? Go to Genesis, the first chapter. Really, we were created to glorify God, Jehovah God. Glorify Jehovah God. All right? That was our creation. And to have dominion over this dark world. Period. So when you really start wanting to be integral, I'm going to be integral, and I'm walking in integrity because I was created to bring kingdom on earth and have dominion. It ain't that easy. It ain't that simple. It is that easy. It is that simple. But what's simple to do is also simple not to do. And you got to remember, what gets us there is the tearing down of our flesh. How can you tear flesh down without facing something? You know what? Y'all talk to me today. Let me put this back where I can see who on here. Hold on. I phone her. Hey, what's up? Tia! What's up, Tia? Listen, this is the thing. It's Meal Prep Monday. All right? I want us to stay in a place where we know that this life was created to be simple. Our life was created to be simple. Our life was created to be simple. Why do I keep saying it? Because the more you hear, repetition is key. Okay? We need the discipline. So the first thing, we got to stop trying to discipline ourselves based on a situation. We got to discipline ourselves. I told y'all, self-control is the best control to have. Because if you can control you, you can control every situation that comes to you. You can control it. Well, Nicole, you just had surgery. You can control that. Indeed, I did. And indeed, I can. Because I was healed before I had the surgery. I just had to tell Jaden this the other night. This is just going through the process. The processing is this flesh. All right? So you cut open this shell. The shell got to heal itself. So it's got to have the time to close back up. So thankfully, I don't have to go get stitches removed. They were internal stitches, and then the external tape or whatever, the tape is starting to come off. But as the tape comes off, my skin is together. All right? But I was healed. I was healed before I was, listen, I was healed when I was born. His stripes healed me before I even came on this natural played. All right? That's too deep. That ain't too deep. You don't want to know why? Because I pull inward out. Now, did I have to go through things naturally? Absolutely. But even in going through the things naturally, how do you learn to build your faith? How do you learn how to walk things out if nothing ever happens? Me talking to my sis this morning wasn't to put her on blast or put her out. It's just to call out anything that don't raise her up. I don't have to know what's going on. If I hear you and you don't sound right, I'm just going to pour into you. It's not my job to do anything else. It's not, you want to know why? Because I got this whole agenda for Nicole D. Jones that I got to work on, but I'm not going to leave a soldier wounded. So what do? I felt something inwardly. I heard her outwardly, and I just asked a question. And then, because I believe what's coming from inward, I just did what I felt I needed to do to feel her. Because I want to feel her soul so that her spirit keeps going higher. And then at the higher the spirit go, the flesh will die. I'm so all yeah. I promise I had some notes today, but this is the thing. Meal prep Monday. If you can just grab and believe that this life is the creation of our life is simple. If we could just grab it and believe it, even when we go to our time of learning, personal growth and self-development, our perspective will shift and it'll change. And then it's shifting and it's changing. When life starts lifing, we may be there for a minute because we're human. You got to process your natural feelings, all right? Ain't none of us robots. We were given emotions for a reason, okay? We're emotional creatures, but we operate and we act out by the spirit, okay? It's that whole thing of balance. What creates balance in your life is self-discipline. It's self-control. It's being able to see what's going on, dealing with what you have to, and after you do it, not leaving. This is the thing. When something happens, I'm going to finish my sentence, not leaving without asking a question. When we are feeling something, all right, a situation happens, it puts us in our feelings, we get emotional. Let's just say, because we can all relate, we get mad. We don't blacked out on somebody. We blacked out. And yep, I said it, I did it, and I said it, and I got the neck rolling, and because you know what, I done had enough. And they pushed me to that point, and I just had to tell them because it was the truth anyway. Okay, we all been there, done that, right? And everything you said is factual. So, okay, you're right. So, because they made you feel a certain way, you had to respond to that feeling that was given to you. I get it. I ain't even mad at you about it. I do it. All right? Been there, done that. But once you deal with how that made you feel, can we now say, how did I make you feel? Y'all got that, right? So yes, she made me feel a certain kind of way. He made me feel a certain kind of way. And at this point, I just had to listen. I told y'all, James Lionel Jones, I got to talk to him a different kind of way for him to hear me. I've had to learn that. But just because I have to talk to him a different kind of way don't mean Ming Lee don't have to show up. All right? I can articulate my words without cussing, but I can give it to him. See, James, I gotta be, he ain't on here today. Hope he ain't. No, it don't matter. It don't matter because I'm an open book. So with him, I gotta talk to him different because the whole, nice and this and that. It don't catch his ear all the time. Not when we're addressing things. The nice, friendly catching your ears for another time. But if it's something going on and he's making me feel a certain kind of way, I gotta talk to him in a language that's gonna resonate with him. There are certain postures, certain words, certain things that just resonate. Okay, so what I've had to learn though, and where I got convicted, because I used to do it just butt ugly, and I used to feel validated for it, because a person makes you feel a certain kind of way, you need them to understand how they made you feel. Where does it come? Where's the growth? What do I want you to do on Meal Prep Monday? I promise you this has a reason. Because now you got to be accountable for you. And in everything we do, now, in what we said and what we did, so we were the receiver. We got to go and talk to the receiver of us, because everything that we do, there's still a God in heaven that has an expectation of us too. Because the reason we were created, Genesis 1, I think it's right around verse 26. We were created to have spiritual fellowship with him and have dominion over his creations on the earth. The only way you can understand what dominion really means is to learn him. Go ask who said it. So, okay, yes, I said it and I did it, but how did the way that I just did what I did make you feel, God? And then be there long enough to hear what he have to say, because we want that person to hear what we had to say. Now I got tired of getting beat up. So what I learned to do, see this is why I say this journey, when we can learn self-control, the things that come, the things of this journey, good and bad, it helps us learn to control this flesh while we're in it. So what I've learned is to be able to talk to him without using bad words, because at the end of it, he might can relate to it. I don't think bad words even offend him, okay? He might can relate to it, but does it offend the one who created me? When we learn to go into self-control, you've got to learn self-discipline and self-control to keep your life simple. That's my whole point of my little soapbox rant, okay? You got to learn self-control. So you got to learn you. And you learn you by going to the original DNA of you. You're integral. You walk in integrity. You're honest. You're peace. You're love. But the truth of the matter is, if you got this giant coming at you, that's not when you're like, okay, wait a minute. Well, okay, but no. See, so what I was saying, no, you gonna stop. See, that's authority. No, I'm not doing this with you. That's boundaries. Okay? When we learn to do different things, we parent very different with Jaden. I had to tell him the other day, all right, can we tone it down? We're going to stay on the same page. What happened? He toned it down. Whereas before, it was more offensive to me. That wasn't a moment to be like, oh, well, what do you think about, but wait, but I'm just saying, no. But learning to control myself will allow me to communicate in whatever the situation needs without me being displeasing. That makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Y'all was chitty chattering earlier. Now y'all ain't talking to me. Y'all know I can hear you today. Am I on a soapbox?
No, it makes perfect sense.
Thank you. So, Meal Prep Monday. Why am I saying all this? Because I really want us to shift our perspective. In all seriousness, we all got something going on, all right? Holidays are coming. We're in the month of November. This time of year is hard for some people, all right? Why? Because life has lifed. All right. Life is life. Since I lost my dad, I don't even know. I'm not going to say it's hard for me, but day to day, that could change. All right. It can change. So I want us to stay in a mindset that this life was created to be simple. Okay. This doesn't minimize how we feel. It doesn't minimize what we got to go through. It doesn't minimize the processes. But if we can start shifting our perspective, be intentional, like, you know what? Things are going to happen. So number one, I'm not going to use my energy in situations that don't even warrant it. A lot of times we put so much emotion into irrelevant stuff that when the emotional thing comes, we're tapped out. And then we either blacken out or we balled up in fetal position because we are not in a place where we have the capacity to handle what's predestined. So I want us to look at life simple. So if something doesn't require all of your drama, attention, whatever you want to call it, don't give it. Put that energy into learning about you so that when the big thing happens, you're not bankrupt and you have the capacity to weather the storm or the celebration. It ain't always a bad thing. When you start looking at this journey as being simple, it ain't all the energy going to something bad. A wedding will tap you out, and that's a celebration. Planning a birthday party will tap you out if you're bankrupt. Okay? So it's really allowing this journey to become simple in the only place that we're battled, and that's in our mind. All right? Meal Prep Monday. 1 minute. If anybody want to say something, it's 10:28. If not, I want you to stay focused. I want you to stay humble. I want you to stay positive. Know that you always have support. You always have someone who has your back. There's always strength for you in a weak place. And that you really are strong enough to pour into other people. Even at your lowest, you're at a high in the original creation of you. Don't ever forget that. Don't ever forget that. All right? So, again, I am Nicole D. Jones. Remember that your speech and your mind are one, and they're both gifts. You have the gift of the mind, and you have the gift of your speech. All right? You verbally can change every situation. Your conversation can change every situation in your journey because it's a fixed fight and we've already won. So everything that comes to us, we've already been created to win. Now, what does winning look like? That's the key. So I am Nicole D. Jones, and I want you to continue to have a fantabulous rest of the day. Smooches.